For being here, especially you got somebody that traveled all the way from Oklahoma to be here. I just want to reiterate after the break, just for the American people to know, it's important that we follow the rule of law. I love, commonly said now, to be the rule of law team. It requires discipline. It requires focus. It requires that, we don't turn ourselves into a banana republic. Article 2, Section 4 says the president, vice president, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. The Constitution absolutely gives authority to impeach and remove the president, vice president, and all civil officers for treason, bribery, high crimes, and misdemeanors. This tool was inherited from English practice, in which Parliament impeached and convicted ministers and favorites of the crown in a struggle to rein in abuse of power. That's the historical precedent on this. And let me back that up, okay? So it's been talked about this morning. Federalist 65 has some admonitions, has some warnings, and it says the subjects within the context of impeachment, in Federalist 65, written by Alexander Hamilton, it says the subjects of its jurisdiction, talking about impeachment, are those offenses in which proceed from the misconduct of public men, or in other words, from the abuse or violation of some public trust. It goes on to say that the model from which the instrument of impeachment, the idea of this institution has been borrowed, pointed out, that course to be the convention. In Great Britain, it is the province of the House of Commons to prefer the impeachment and the House of Lords to decide upon it. Two-part. Just like we've employed in our Constitution. Several of the state constitutions have followed this example, as well as the latter, as the former seem to have regarded the practice of impeachment as the bridle in the hands of the legislative body upon the executive servants of government. You know why I love that? I grew up in the performance horse industry, and I learned 3-stage stops from a father who trained cutting horses professionally. You sit down, they feel the pressure of that. Then you say, whoa. And then a well-trained, well-disciplined animal learns that when they feel the 3-stage stop coming, they're going to park it without having to lift the 4 ounces of the reins of the bridle. The problem is we've got men and women who serve in positions of authority, and the definition, according to AQHA, of a reining horse, I love this, is willfully guided, willfully controlled. The problem is when you have men and women in influence who aren't willfully guided and willfully controlled by the Constitution, and as stated by Alexander Hamilton, the job of the legislative body is to grab the reins and say, whoa. And we have an out of place, out of their floodplain, bureaucracy within Homeland Security that is doing what they want to, not following the rule of law. So, with that said, the question is before us. Are there instances of fact where Mayorkas has flippantly disregarded the laws enacted by Congress? Point 1, parole. Section 212D5A of the Immigration and Nationality Act says parole shall only be granted on a case-by-case basis, only for urgent humanitarian reasons or significant public benefit. Mayorkas has not done that. He's created broad parole programs for 30,000 aliens per month. Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela without evidence of humanitarian reasons or without significant public benefit. Point 2, resources. In FY 2020, Congress explicitly appropriated funds for constructions of barrier systems. So our AG is talked about from Missouri. Part of your lawsuit was over this. Barrier systems along the southwest border. Mayorkas refused to comply with Congress's appropriation, refused to build barrier systems as Congress said, as a will of the people, the power of the purse. Point 3, detention. Section 235B1 of Immigration and Nationality Act outlines the procedures by which aliens attempting to enter the United States without a visa or proper immigration papers are to be detained and removed. Mayorkas has not done this. His agency has released several million illegal aliens who should have been detained and deported. Question. Mr. Bowman, you've been invited by the Democrats to provide your advice as a professor. And you said that the impeachment of Mayorkas needs to be based on not policy differences, but it has to be, quote, has to be subversion of the Constitution. Another quote from you, for illegal ends or serious offenses. Is that correct? Yes or no? That you said those statements? Has to be subversion of the Constitution for illegal ends or serious offenses, yes or no?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? You're speaking rather.
You said it, it's on record. I need to kind of watch my time and move on through this. To the attorney generals in the room, is not administering the laws of the land a serious offense for illegal ends? Does it rise to the level of high crimes and misdemeanors? Please, each of you, please answer that question.
Absolutely, Congressman.
It does rise.
Unequivocally, yes.
We got 3 attorney generals who say that the violation of these laws is a violation of the enforcement of the law and is grounds of high crimes and misdemeanors, which the Constitution clearly lays out is high crimes and misdemeanors is a reason for impeachment. What we tolerate, we empower. Congress has to do its job and send a strong signal. If you don't follow the law, you're going to be out. Thank you.